This is Wigan from Reddit Omega bringing you a recap of war number 218. You may recall in the recap video for war 217, I said that we had quite a few new members joining us from Reddit Dark and Reddit Omicron. And so this was a little bigger war than normal. This was 40v40. And you may recall I showed you a preview that showed that the other team had 29 Town Hall 10s or Town Hall 11s compared to our 9. Now, there were a lot of rush bases there, but there were a ton of infernos. So the question is, when we're out town halled, how did we do? And the answer is we had a perfect war. So we had 43 star attacks, including lots of Town Hall 9s taking on Town Hall 10s, and including Town Hall 10s taking on Town Hall 11s. And we had 9 players who had 6-star wars. So I'm going to show you the 9 players who did that accomplishment. And I'm going to start with Juniab on their number 1. So this is Town Hall 11 against Town Hall 11. You notice that this particular Town Hall 11 does not have the Eagle artillery. And you'll notice that this is going to be an AQ walk with La Lune. This is a pretty common way that we chose to attack this opposing team, partly because of the way their base was designed. You know, here, for example, you have exposed air defenses, and partly because that tactic works pretty well when you're attacking higher level bases, because you can take out quite a bit of the base without the infernos affecting you. So you'll note that the clan castle is poorly placed and it's easy to spawn it. You'll also notice that Junie has a 2-prong thing going on, and he sent some naked wall breakers in at around 4 o'clock. So his AQ walk is proceeding consistently, if somewhat slowly. You'll notice 2 single infernos in the middle. We ran into a lot of single infernos this war, and what we chose to do, and many times, was use lots of loons or witches to swarm those towers. So I'm going to speed up this AQ walk a little bit. This second air defense is going to hit his healers before his Archer Queen gets in position, so that's why he pops his ability there. Now he started his La Lune portion because 2 air defenses are down, and you'll note that they're shaped pretty well to path them into the core, into those infernos. Get a rage on top of the infernos. There's one freeze, was hoping for perhaps both infernos, but when they're on opposite corners like that, it's impossible. So he goes ahead and he pops his Grand Warden ability when they're tanking that Inferno Tower. His King's in the mix as well. And you'll note that this base is pretty much entirely wrecked. There are a couple of point defenses left, but he has tons and tons of loons left. He has all 3 heroes. And the only thing slowing him down here is that neither of his 2 hounds has popped. He was so efficient in taking down those infernos, they didn't have time to lock onto his hounds. And so that's going to slow down his cleanup somewhat, but we're going to speed it up here. And you'll note that at the end of this raid, Junie has all 3 heroes at full health. So very solid attack, and a theme that we're going to see repeated more often. In fact, our next attack is Sorak. Sorak had a 6-star war, and he's approaching this base in a similar fashion. You notice the healers, so we've got an AQ walk, and you note that he's got a La Lune behind it. Now this attack goes a lot quicker. But again, you'll see exposed air defenses. Air defenses on the corner like this are quite easy to take out. So his AQ, in very short order, gets 1 air defense, gets the CC, and is going to get the opposing Archer Queen. Rage is perfectly placed. Going to get those healers and get the Archer Queen so that she 2-shots that opposing Archer Queen. Hasn't used her ability yet. Sometimes the sweeper actually helps you out. In this case, the sweeper helps keep those healers further away from the base, which means they're going to have less of a chance of tanking defenses. So you notice down to the southwest, he's got a couple of giants and a couple of wizards. What he's going to try to do is he's going to wall break in here, and he's going to try to get his Barbarian King to path into this compartment and take out one of the air defenses. So AQ is going to take out 2 air defenses. Barbarian King hopefully taking out 1 air defense, which leaves 1 air defense and some infernos. Now you'll note this air defense is going to live with just a sliver of health. He goes ahead and starts his La Lune, and he's got a nice shape for that. You'll notice a V shape, which is going to funnel directly into the core. This is one of those rare occasions where the Hound is actually going to take out the air defense. So he's got a freeze, which takes out disables both infernos. And by the time those infernos are reactivated, they are gone. And then he's got plenty of loons to take out the remainder of this base. You see his Archer Queen is being held back to full. Still got a Hound that hasn't spawned pups yet. And all of his cleanup is heading exactly where you would want it to. Loons headed toward the high hit point buildings and splitting nicely. So in no time at all, this base is done for. So this was a cleanup attack, but a very strong attack from Sorok. Next, we're going to go down to Zach attacking their number 8. This is a fresh 3-star, and Zach is attacking a Town Hall 11. So he's a Town Hall 10 attacking a Town Hall 11. Does have the Eagle Artillery, does have a level 5 Grand Warden, and you see again this AQ Walk La Lune idea. I say again, Zach was one of the first people to 3-star using this attack. So he's got a minion to take out a corner hut and to help funnel his queen, taking out those camps. Camps can actually mess up an AQ Walk because they are so big. So here you see the Archer Queen is getting the clan castle, the opposing Barbarian King, and in the interim he's zap quaking one of the infernos. Barbarian King enters the fray. You note the Queen is hitting her way into the middle here. The healers are tanking one of the expos. Eagle Artillery is going to target the Barbarian King, and that actually does a significant amount of damage. But now he's ready to start his La Lune. So 2 air defenses down. You notice the Zap Quake almost got that Grand Warden tower as well, got it quite low. So a combination of haste to get the loons into the core quicker. You notice the AQ is still alive and she's taking down a couple of loons, but he's got so many loons, he had 28 loons total, that it doesn't matter. So Loon's proceeding across the remainder of this base. Only a couple point defenses left, and now he's dropped a cleanup loon. Cleanup loon on the far side of where the remainder of his loons are. I really like that loon placement. And with his Archer Queen at full health, still with plenty of healers, you'll note that he's able to take out those high hit point storage buildings, and cleanup is over in a blink. So this was an excellent fresh 3 by Zach. Next attack I want to show you is Apex Southpaw, who had a 6-star war. This is a cleanup attack on their number 18. Now you notice Apex is going to do an AQ walk with a Govaho. First off, he's got a rage to help these healers keep his queen alive as he takes out this clan castle. It also helps to have the AQ essentially one-shot those loons with poison. Now Apex is a Town Hall 9 going up against a Town Hall 10. Infernos are somewhat challenging, but Apex has chosen to do that without using free spells. So he gets 180, and you notice the 3 remaining 80s are kind of concentrated in the same area, which could facilitate loons. But what Apex has realized is that with a big core like this, if you can get Valkyries into the core, they can do wonders. So when you want to get Valkyries into the core, you want a wide funnel. So what he's doing is he's essentially using his Archer Queen to create one side of the funnel, using Golems and Wizards to create the other side of the funnel, and then in short order, he'll drop his Valkyries and jump them straight into the core. So here they come. We're going to take out that Archer Queen first. And Valkyries actually do a decent job tanking the multi-infernos. And of course, they take out those infernos very quickly. He's going to go ahead and drop his Hogs. Hogs are dropped behind his Valkyries. And you notice he's got one heal for them, 12 Hogs, one heal. The Hogs don't actually get all that far. They do take out a good bit of the base, but what's really important is having his heroes and those Valkyries take out the Inferno in those Infernos in the core. Everything else is really, every other objective is really secondary. So Hogs have taken out the remaining defenses. Valkyries are still alive. The Archer Queen's at full health, so the healers have transitioned to healing the Barbarian King. Yet another example of finishing an attack with both heroes pretty much at full health. Outside Giant Bomb. And over. So really nice. We had Town Hall 11 taking on a Town Hall 11. We had a Town Hall 10 taking on a Town Hall 10, then a Town Hall 10 taking on a Town Hall 11, and now a Town Hall 9 taking on a Town Hall 10. So oftentimes we're hitting up in these wars. Next attack is Tony Realm taking on their number 23. Tony had a 6-star war, and this is a fresh attack. Now, note the single target infernos here. I mentioned a couple different ways of dealing with single target infernos. I mentioned loons and I mentioned witches. There is yet another way, and it's lots and lots of Hogs, and that's the approach Tony's taken. One Earthquake to weaken those Inferno Towers and that Town Hall. Fairly significant amount of damage. He's going to head into that Archer Queen with his Barbarian King and some Giants to help tank for a moment. And now that she's down, he's going to start a 2-prong Hog attack. He's got Hogs in his clan castle, and he's got some pocket Hogs remaining left, and he's got 4 heals. Essentially what he's going to do is he's going to carpet bomb heals on this base, kind of Town Hall 8 style. And you may wonder, why would heals be so effective when you're dealing with Inferno Towers? Because they block healing. Well, single target Infernos, so they stop healing on one Hog, but in the remainder of the time, the 40 other Hogs are still getting benefits of or 39 other Hogs are still benefiting from the heal spell. And then Queen is dropped simply for cleanup. She wasn't needed to take out the clan castle. And so he drops her just to expedite cleanup. He's even got a giant, a loon, and another wizard that he's going to drop, at least the loon, to help speed up his cleanup somewhat. And this poor opposing Barbarian King doesn't know what to do. Probably because he's Town Hall 8 level Barbarian King against a Town Hall 9 attack. And it's over. So yes, it is a rush Town Hall 10, but Tony Realm shows a very effective way of dealing with single target Infernos. We saw several people use Hogs to go after single target Infernos. I did as well, for example. Okay, next is GS Warrior Mike on their number 25. Another 6-star warrior, and all of them fresh. So he's going to zap one of the Inferno Towers, and that leaves just one Inferno Tower left. It is feasible to zap or zap Quake Inferno Towers so long as they're not level 3. Level 3 Inferno Towers are cost prohibitive to zap Quake. Another poisonable CC. In fact, every CC we saw from the opposing team was poisonable. Jump is perfectly placed to route units into the core, and his Barbarian King to take out the opposing Archer Queen. And he started his La Lune attack. These are under-leveled air defenses, so this is a good choice. So both Infernos are down, all the air defenses are down, and there are a couple of point defenses remaining, but they're somewhat under-leveled as well. and we have a flood of loons coming in to address them. I'll speed it up because it's all over actually. So this hound is still is not popped. We ran into this a lot where the hound did not pop. Unfortunately, the other team didn't really help us out with good air mine placement, which would have popped those hounds and made the pups clean things up a little quicker. And there you go. So again, a Town Hall 9, 3-starring a Town Hall 10. All right, and now we'll get into the Town Hall 9s themselves. First we have Jericho, who had 6 fresh stars, this time taking on a Town Hall 9, and he's doing an AQ walk as well. And you may wonder and go, well, okay, I understand the use of AQ walks to take out the air defenses on Town Hall 10 bases, and maybe even Inferno, and to facilitate La Lune. Why would you do it on a Town Hall 9, particularly this Town Hall 9? You're not going to get any air defenses. Well, the reason is there's potential 2 double giant bomb spots in this compartment. So what Jericho's doing is he's facilitating hogging by taking out the defenses, which would lure his hogs into the double giant bombs. It's a pretty common technique to use at Town Hall 9 as well. He's anticipating Teslas in these 2 compartments and double giant bombs down south, so this makes a lot of sense. Now behind this he has 2 golems and 22 hogs, running 2 heals this time. The rage is saved for the AQ and the healers in case you need to rage your healers. When she's tanking 2 or 3 point defenses, you pretty much do need to use that rage or the cloak ability to preserve her. See, she's getting kind of low, so there goes that rage. Placed well so that the healers will stay under it for quite a long time. Now the CC spawned, some of them had rushed clan castles. They didn't even have max level clan castles for their Town Hall. I attacked a Town Hall 10 that had 20 troop space in the clan castle, for example. But in this case, it was just straight wizards with 1 giant, and poison runs right through it, and that leaves Jericho free to start his hogging. Now there was a single giant bomb north, and there's actually going to be a second one that's going to trigger soon. But his 2 heals are sufficient, particularly when the queen's taken out so much of the space already. So the heals go down on that Expo and the Teslas, where you have the highest amount of DPS, actually appropriate level Teslas for the Town Hall level. And now cleanup, but you notice it's very, very quick cleanup. Archer Queen's still alive and at full health, still has her ability. And a swag poison on the clan castle. Okay, next attack is U-Tiger 13 on their number 35. This is a fresh attack, and you'll notice there are lots and lots of potential places for giant bombs here. And U-Tiger is going hogs, so he's going to be very careful in how he uses his hogs. It's interesting to see. So he spawns a clan castle, 4 hogs, goes ahead and poisons them. Takes a little time to poison something down, but you'll notice that the rest of this replay isn't going to take very long, so it had absolutely no impact on this particular raid and its timing. So creates a funnel. He's got a jump spell for that X intersection, gets the Barbarian King into the Archer Queen, and importantly also, it gets the golems in there to start trying to play Minesweeper with those giant bombs. So he's going to deploy his hogs in a surgical fashion here. A giant with a couple hogs here and there, so he had a hog split down below, and that's too thin to progress very well. The surgical deployment is correct here because you're trying to mitigate the ability of double giant bombs to ruin your raid. Now he's set off 3 of the 4 giant bombs, so the remaining giant bombs is single. So his Archer Queen is contributing nicely. Taking out that Expo. Barbarian King still alive, still tanking buildings. There's that 4th Giant Bomb, but the hogs are healed to full. Still has a poison in his pocket. And going to take out these remaining 2 point defenses, and then very straightforward cleanup. When both heroes are alive and about 15 hogs and 5 wizards are alive, cleanup is very, very quick. All the DPS converging on the last part of the base. And over. So very nice attack, particularly patient with this hog deployment given the potential giant bomb spots. Okay, last attack I want to show you is DTT 902 on their number 36. DTT had a 6-star war, and all of his stars were fresh also. So out of our 9 people with 6 stars, 3 of them had 6 fresh stars. Very powerful. And you'll note that DTT is also going with lots of hogs and 4 heal spells. Now, there's a couple reasons that he can do this. I'll tell you as he's grouping up this opposing clan castle and luring them down. First, the Archer Queen's accessible. You can wall break into that Archer Queen, so you don't need the jump spell. And you could run more golems, and you could run a jump spell and jump them into the core, but there's really not much in the core for them to do. There's an X-bow and a mortar, neither of which are very much of a concern. So he's going to go ahead and do a cold-blooded Goho attack. So he gets into the Archer Queen, she jumps into the compartment, and the Barbarian King's able to beat her down quickly. And now he can start his hogging. So he's already triggered 1 giant bomb and then a 2nd with his hogs. He's going to be patient with his heal, however. He's got plenty of hogs. Now that first heal is going to go down in a spot where they're tanking lots of different point defenses and where there is a potential single bomb. You'll notice it wasn't. It was instead of Tesla, but that's still useful to tank. So he brought 4 heals total. 2nd heal is down. Now the 3rd heal, because he had a hog split, so why not? Plenty of hogs in that split. It's worthwhile to keep them alive. And then a final heal where his hog pack could converge, but even if it doesn't converge, it's going to heal one of those packs. There are some skeletons beating on his hogs, but it's not enough to matter. When you've got 20 odd hogs there in that pack, they're just going to sweep through everything. Notice both his heroes are alive, both contributing to cleanup. That's a common theme we've seen in our attacks. And before you know it, this rushed Town Hall 10 is taken out by yet another Town Hall 9. So when you look at the map and you see that it was a perfect war, that came on the back of many, many Town Hall 9s attacking Town Hall 10s and many Town Hall 10s attacking Town Hall 11s, even though they were rushed in both cases. And even though the base layouts were sometimes really bad and we were able to exploit things like suboptimal AD placement, outside giant bombs, single target infernos, both infernos being able to be frozen with 1 freeze spell, troll holes, lots of different ways we were able to exploit these bases. But you see that we crushed them nonetheless. So this is a good sign for our clan. We just added a lot of new members, and the question was, how would everyone adapt to working together with, different war strategies and different approaches and that sort of thing. And I think the result speaks for itself. So we've got another war already set up. This time we actually have the advantage in Town Hall level, which is unfortunate for our opponents. So I don't know if we'll see another perfect war, but I think it'll be pretty close. So look for that recap here in a couple days.